Right, here we go. So a bit of a recap really on where we are with Matic and Bitcoin. Oh, sorry about that, move that mic around. Yeah, I'll make a real quick video. So I'm not your financial advisor, it's not financial advice. Let's have a quick look then. We'll start actually by having a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's been sort of dancing around this area for ages. Really interesting to see because actually we're not really sure where it's going to go. It's resting on this green 50 exponential and it's just sort of to take a little turn down on this one actually. My original thoughts, and I'm still sort of biased towards the fact that we're likely to come back down and test this this resistance area, sorry, the support area, which is around 11,200 to 11,000, anywhere in this box territory here. And all I'm saying really is that and all I have been saying is that I do expect us to come back down to test it, and we tried almost down on this wick here, but it didn't quite make it. It was close, but it didn't actually touch it, so I'm not counting that one. I wanted to do another test of the actual box, so that 11,200 to 11,000. Now, if we break beneath the where this wick came down to, which is 11,100 and lower, then we're probably going to come back down to 11 and maybe even break that. And if we do break it, we'll be down to around 10,800 before we stop for a bounce. If that breaks, 10,600, and really if that one breaks, which is I'd say between 10,500 to 10,600, if we break beneath that, then we are probably going to come back down to 9,000s. But this is all speculation at the moment. At the moment we're still trending within this range here, which is a very small range. What we are finding is though, right in the centre here, we've got the just this 7-day moving average, which is moving down actually, and it's actually formed, as we can see, a bit of a resistance level for it. So we come close to it, we bounce back down, bounce from there again, back down, and again there, and again there, and now we're being forced actually under. As you can see, they're converging. We're being forced beneath what we would consider to be the support area of this green 50 exponential, so it's actually squashed us beneath it. This could have gone either way. When this kind of squashing effect takes place, it could have gone either way. It could have broken up and above there, which would have probably caused a bit of a move up again, but instead it broke us down and we've actually been squeezed down underneath it. So now that we're underneath it, unless we can break above it again, and if we do break above it, we're likely to make a bigger move, because above that would actually converge against these ones here. These converging moving averages would suggest that trend that we're being forced beneath has broken. Then we're probably going to come back up to test probably around 11,650 or so. But at the moment we've been squashed beneath it, and our next level of support is that 11,200, which isn't such a big deal, and we should probably find a bounce from there. But if there is a big sell-off and we come back down beneath this wick, then yeah, it's looking like we're going down probably to around about 10,800. Anyway, I'll leave that Bitcoin business with you there, and we'll move on to Matic, another coin that we like to look at a lot on this channel. It's mainly what this channel's about, to be honest with you. So we'll start by sort of trying to work out what it's likely to do right this moment, to be honest with you. Indicators suggest on the 4-hourly that it actually wants to come down again. The good thing is that we've got above all these moving averages, we did have golden crosses around here. On the 4-hourly though, I should mention that we don't have them on the higher time frames. They are converging, they are getting close. As you can see, these 50s, the purple and the green, are still underneath. What we'd like to see is this fat green move across this fat white, and this purple move again above this fat yellow. At the moment it's not likely to happen unless we see some more moves to the up. But it does look like it wants to move down, I should say. We've got all these areas here of support. Each one of these now should act as a support, but because they're all so close together, if one starts to break and buckle, there'll be like a if there's a big sell-off, let's just say, if there is a big sell-off, it would be a dramatic sell-off, and it would come all the way tumbling right back down, probably to where we began, and maybe even start putting in some new lows. I know that's depressing for those who follow Matic and hold Matic, but that is the likelihood of what's going to happen. So the good news is we've got lots of areas of support in a small space, which would suggest very strong support, but also it would also suggest that if there is a strong sell-off, there's really nothing to hold us back up again. That is us on the tether pairing. We're in this blue box here. This is our, I would say, our resistance level, and we broke above it and we've trended within it, and now we're back underneath it, or pretty much underneath it. We broke beneath it on this occasion here. When you see we had this wick here bouncing up, showing that these areas are, even the very first ones here, being the that one there's 21-day close, there's actually a support in itself, bouncing right above there in the middle of the Bollinger Band, right in the middle. So it's all a good sign, to be honest with you. At the moment it's all looking quite good, and what we really want to do is break above the top of this blue box, which is the very top area of resistance. Once we break above there, we're likely to start to climb back up and away again. But at the moment indicators are down, suggesting that there is a lot more, it's more likely that we're to go down than we are up, but they're not very steep, so those down moves could only just be a small range within maybe 5 to 10%. That is obviously a very large range, but for something like Matic it's not such a big deal. But yeah, we like I say, we've got a lot of support areas, and we're in the middle of the Bollinger Band, and we really want to try and break above this top of this blue support box. And we're still within it at the moment. It's a bit of a battle going on, but it's not all bad. It's not all bad at all. It's come a long way. Really, what I would have liked to have seen, and to be honest, you've got to put this into context. This big move here was off the back of the Coinbase announcement, so a lot of this was FOMO. It's not organic growth. This one is a little more organic, but it's still off the back of that. It's a bit of a retest to try and get back up here. What we're looking to see now is that when we come back down in this consolidation move here, so we're going up at this point, we're coming back down again. What we really do want to see is we want to see a higher low. If we get a higher low, then great. If we get a lower low than this, then obviously that's terrible news. We will come back down to here, and maybe even continue to make lower lows. But at the moment we're still in this consolidation phase after the second attempt of moving up here. Now we didn't get a higher high, which is unfortunate, but this was FOMO based. This is a little more organic, but still relatively FOMO, but not as much as this. So if this was organic growth, when you saw a chart like this, it would be a little scary, because it's a move and then a lower high. But we, like I say, that we've got to hold on to the fact that we do have a lower high, but what we really want to see now is a higher low, and that might suggest that on the next attempt we will try to make and break above this area here, the all-important 2 cent area. If we can break above the 2 cent area, then that is very good news, because that area for Matic was an extremely strong support before it broke down, before we got that death cross back here. We were dancing around that 2 cent mark for quite a while. That was a 2 cent there. That was a 2 cent there. So it has actually, from way back at the very sort of beginning of this consolidation mark, that 2 cent area was a relatively strong support. You could class that as the equivalent of when if you look at Bitcoin on the weekly. Or on the daily, and you zoom back out enough back to see at the very beginning of 2018, you see a move like this. The chart actually does look very similar, and this 2 cent area you could class as being perhaps the equivalent of Bitcoin 6,000, which broke down beneath that, and then if we can get above there again, and that should hopefully turn to a support, then it should be up and away, and we'd start to see a true reversal if that 2 cent mark becomes a support. But at the moment it's a very strong resistance, and it remains to be a resistance level for us, and as strong as the support is likely to be in the future, it's definitely going to be a strong resistance for us too. Have a look at the Bitcoin pairing. It's actually looking quite good. Bitcoin's been stagnant, just completely still, so it's allowed these Satoshis to gain faster than they would have done if Bitcoin has been making those moves. Now if Bitcoin probably does go up, Matic is likely to suffer a little bit from that, because Matic doesn't like to trend alongside Bitcoin. It kind of in a way trends in the reverse of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes down, Matic on occasions will go down too, but the Satoshi levels have in the past gained, actually, causing the whole of Matic to gain as a result of Bitcoin going down. So quite an interesting coin like that. It does kind of do the reverse of Bitcoin, and it used to do that, I should say. When the death cross occurred, it stops doing that. but it might begin to do that again now that we've got the golden cross. Now what we have here now, so we can have a look, we've found ourselves on the Satoshi pairing, we've found ourselves an actual golden cross now on the simples, and we're about to get a golden cross. I should say we may get a golden cross on the exponentials, and that'll be the more important one for Matic, to get a golden cross on that sense of it. If we get that golden cross on the Satoshi value on the 4-hourly chart, it's worth holding on to. It's not it doesn't mean a great deal. It'd be better if it was on a longer time frame, for instance, but it's like I said, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's a golden cross on the 4-hourly doesn't mean absolutely nothing. It does hold some relevance, and if we continue with this and move a little bit further up, we will get a golden cross on that exponential, and that should really help with the value and the movement of the coin, I should say, rather than the value. The movement and the trend should start to reverse at that point, and then we can start talking about moving up to 175 satoshis, and then the all-time sort of next big resistance for Satoshi value would be around 220, and that would be a very big deal if we can get above 220, because that would be our area around here, and you can see that was a support, a resistance for us, a big one, before we came tumbling down at that point. So 220 would be a great one to achieve, but we're quite far away from that. Like I say, this could be the makings of a new all-important golden cross on the Bitcoin pairing on a 4-hourly chart, and that could spark at least a 30% move if we get that. But again, it might not do anything. Imagine if Coinbase announced that actually they've chosen who they're going to list and Matic's not one of them. That would be enough to just wipe all this off the map. Well, all this TA wouldn't mean anything at that point anymore. This would come tumbling back down. It would be terrible for the price, and that could happen. So as much as you can do technical analysis wise, something like that could just completely destroy the entire thing. So it needs some decent. Matic is so early on in its career that it's really not got a great deal to go by. Its use case is very small because it's not been implemented yet. Their alpha mainnet's out, but the mainnet isn't. The staking isn't out yet, so they need to be staked. They need to be operating on proof of stake properly, and people need to be sort of holding their coins and staking the balances. All these sort of things aren't implemented yet, so really we are going off the back of just news and speculation, and we don't have anything tangible really to create true organic growth, which is a real shame. But those things will come in time, and I pretty much would say that when they do come, all of those things that I mentioned, a Coinbase listing, staking, a true mainnet, and then utilization of the token in general, that's when we'll start to see some really good organic growth with Matic. But at the moment, it's very vulnerable to those sort of things, that sort of bad news. It's extremely vulnerable, so even though we're looking to get big moves out of it, you can get big moves both ways. It's sort of a dangerous coin to be trading within right now. Huge rewards, but could also incur big losses at the drop of a hat. But if you're looking to hold this for the long term, like I am, it's definitely a decent place to accumulate, because the chances of this coin going sort of quite high, and I mean quite high, I would say this coin is likely at this price now to do probably 100x. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I do think that. I think $1.50 to $1.50 is quite likely with this coin, within a 2.5-3 year period, at the end of the bull run, this big Bitcoin bull run. I think that's pretty likely that it could do that. I know that sounds ridiculous, but 100x or thereabouts from the price that it is now. So yeah, that's my expectation of it. So it is a decent coin to accumulate at this point, in my view. Please do your own research. Don't go sort of buying things because you've heard me say it's a good idea. I'm doing it. It doesn't mean that you should do it. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research and obviously trade carefully. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. It was a little longer than I thought that video was going to be. But I hope you have a nice day, and take it easy, and I'll see you soon.